For over 30 years, the Resource Center of Chicago has revitalized communities by turning abandoned lots into abundant resources.
The first idea of improving the quality of life in a neighborhood was finding value in the trash that was littered on vacant lots and finding value in the men that couldn't find jobs and spent their days drinking and throwing bottles into the lot. If you put a unrecognized material resource in the proper connection to a unrecognized human resource, you've got a self-sustaining project.
In 2000, on a vacant acre of land once occupied by the Cabrini Green Housing Project, the Resource Center built a sustainable vegetable garden called City Farm. The City of Chicago provides use of the land, and the farm uses composted materials recycled entirely from city waste.
And so we were able to basically create a mobile system on top of the abandoned lot where we could lay down a farm and then pick it up and move it as the property value changed or they sell it. We grow about 80 different varieties of vegetables, root vegetables, lettuce greens, salad greens, cooking greens, and tomatoes.
When I moved over here, I seen the farm here. I started talking to people, and I started volunteering. For 2 years I volunteered. For me, it was a stress relief, and I enjoy coming out here.
There isn't really a community center in a lot of the different neighborhoods. The farm can act as that. It's not only a training ground for creating a business, but also a way to keep people joined together by the food that they're creating.
Sometimes I stand out there, hey, go over there and buy some tomatoes, go over there and buy some cabbage. You say, we can do that? And I said, yes, you can. And they will have a great time.
Everybody knows the tomato you grow in your own backyard tastes like a real tomato, and you don't get that when you get a factory farm-produced tomato.
City Farm sustains its business by selling to high-end Chicago restaurants, where chefs are happy to pay for local, top-quality produce.
There's nothing that makes my job easier or makes me do a better job than being able to source superb product from local farmers. And that's why I have this relationship with Ken and City Farm.
Most of the chefs in town choose the sustainable food system of buying as locally as possible. Rick Bayless actually contacted because we were selling at the Maxwell Street Market. We met him there, and he has become our biggest buyer of tomatoes.
Of course, City Farm isn't just about growing tomatoes. It's about growing jobs and training opportunities in communities that need them the most.
We started using federal money for job training to train ex-offenders and others having a hard time getting jobs. And we found it takes about 3 years to become an expert farmer and do it well.
We've had a number of individuals that have actually worked pieces of land on the south side and on the west side to the point where they can run it self-sufficiently. We also had a 14-year-old, Jermaine, who was actually working over his summer job, was growing vegetables at City Farm and then also mucking stables at the carriage stables just up the street. So it's the 14-year-old kid from the housing projects in downtown Chicago who's mucking stalls and picking tomatoes for his summer job.
They had some young adults from the project area. And I used to take them around the yard to volunteer. We form a relationship, by working.
The Resource Center consistently collaborates with the City of Chicago to expand sustainable practices and recycling ordinances within the city.
The goal has to be not only to get people to recycle, but to make it cost effective. And we learned that when people were recycling voluntarily in this ward, they were saving money. To me, it seems like this is the opportunity for us to really create a marriage of growing our economy by identifying ways in which to use resources that aren't going away.
The Resource Center has been recycling all of our product for, I think, 5 years. We have to separate our trash into 5 different components so that he can pick it up and cart it away. Oh yeah, it's a pain in the ass to separate it all, but it's what's not that's worth it.
The Resource Center needs your help. Today, the City Farm program requires additional resources to expand its successful model and meet the high demand for local food and jobs.
We've very successfully for the last 10 years worked on the 1 acre model, but also have plans for a 5 acre model and even a 10 acre model. We produce that 10 to 20,000 pounds a year, and we literally get 4 times as many phone calls for the produce than we do have the produce to sell. We need a training base where we can train entrepreneurs to do this on their own and really work with the city to create its own food base.
This is just not a fringe activity. This is an economy central to most economies throughout history. There's always going to be a market for food, especially quality food. And so getting the sustainable jobs in sustainable food production is the future for our city.